Lee Iridium, and they're back. Jam and Dominic McCauley. How you doing, guys?
We're good, thank you.
Good.
How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. So we've actually got some compliments about this last night, this show, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you noticed the?
I don't know why.
So I mean, even the views are creeping up on the last one, the 1981.
Yes,
I was a bit concerned at the beginning, but I think it takes a little bit of time to everyone to.
Isn't that weird? Everything else was like 100 or so within the first 24 hours, and this one has slowly creeped up to the other ones, but it's taken like a week. I don't know.
Yeah. It is a strange one. It is a strange one. Perhaps not a lot of people like they see 1981 and go, "That ain't for me." I don't fucking know, but we're on 1982. So
I think it's all my friends are just being lazy bastards, and they're only finally getting to it.
Yeah. But
my mate Neil only watched it last night.
Yeah, it just depends.
Another one.
Yeah, it depends where you are in the world, all that, and whether you can be bothered. But there you go.
Yeah, I've had enough of those guys.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so I'm loving it. I absolutely love it. 1982, I said to you before here, I struggled a little bit. I was quite surprised because the 80s were so huge for me, obviously. It was a big time, and I thought every year in the 80s would be easy. But I mean, I'm not saying I've got anything bad on here. I like every song, but I don't know. I just expected a little bit more, I suppose. But there you go. I've got some, and I was trying not to choose songs that I've had before, but I didn't really have a choice on this. It sort of turned out there's a couple that I have chosen on different programs. So
that's fine. You've done about 300 programs, so it makes sense.
Yeah, trying to remember what I've chosen as well ain't easy. But so obviously we've got to explain the rules. Does anyone else want to explain the rules, or is it me?
No, your channel, mate.
So right, all killer, no filler, total frustration. 1982. So two rules. One is you can't have two songs off of one album. It has to be, you only can have one song off of certain albums. And the other rule is the track listing has to match the original album. So for instance, track 5 of our playlists has to match the track 5 of the original album. Now I fucked up a bit on the last one, so I chose an album that we all agreed wasn't out that year. And so I'm hoping, I'm praying now, because it was just devastating me that it ain't going to happen today. I'm just really...
I don't think we talked about anything in 82, so I'm sure you're fine.
I haven't included that album though, because I fucked up, so I deserve to be punished. So, we're going to go, obviously 10 tracks. We're still at 10 tracks. We might make it a few more in later years when we start getting to those CD years when you've got like 26 to choose from. But at the moment we're just making it 10 because it's still the early 80s. We still got vinyls basically are the thing, and tapes. Oh man,
cassette tapes,
man.
Tapes, yeah,
unbelievable. So I really truthfully can't remember who went first last time.
I can't either.
I think I started on 80, so then Dom, so I think it's back to me. If you don't want to do it, Lee. If you don't want to do it.
Oh no, definitely not. So Jam first with his track 1 of 1982.
Woo! Okay. Right. So this will probably be the first and only mention of this band, because I'm not really a fan. And it's the Scorpions, Blackout, from the album Blackout, released in March. And it's their 8th album. And I think most people don't know the song, are they? It's a cool riff. It's a heavy song for the Scorpions. I mean, when I first encountered the Scorpions, I only heard Winds of Change and all that rubbish from the later 80s. Well, say rubbish, sorry if you guys like them, but I never really liked them.
No. I don't like Winds of Change. I don't like Winds of Change, mate.
Well, no, just in that period of time. That period of time, back, a bit later in the 80s.
Yeah, it was like their big power ballad,
yeah. So I didn't know Blackout probably till 10 years ago, really. So it's a new one for me, if you like. So yes, I just love this song. I mean, everybody knows it. It's just a rocking opening track to an album. So I don't know what the rest of the album's like. I must admit, I've never really heard it. But
absolutely, probably my favourite Scorpions album. I reckon.
Yeah, good time for metal. I think 82. So I would imagine it would be a rocking album.
Yeah,
I'd say it's my favorite as well. Yeah,
I might give it a try then. I'll give it a try.
And the funny thing was, Klaus Main he had some real vocal problems. It was unknown whether he'd actually carry on at all, and he had a surgery. Don Dokken was lined up for this album, and apparently there's some demos or something hidden, but not many apparently. Might be the odd song of him singing. I'd like to hear that. But Klaus Meine came back, and his voice was better than ever.
Yeah,
really.
That was a cool guitar solo at the end as well, which I really like. I think it rocks out at the end.
I love the old breaking glass as well, and the scream at the end. It's like excellent. I love that.
Great.
Okay, yeah, I love that song, man. Good choice. Okay, Dom, what you got, mate?
What do I have? Number one for me is from a band I really like, and we'll be hearing a lot more from them in my lists to come. This will be the first appearance, though. This is Crocus. And their song Long Stick Goes Boom.
Tonight, long stick goes boom.
That's the one, man. Right on. I'm glad you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Again, living in the States, I don't know what came over, what you might have heard, but this is probably a band I really like and who consistently did records through the 90s and 2000s. That's why you'll probably hear a lot more from them on my list, because it's kind of slim pickings during those years. But this is my favorite track of theirs. Absolutely. Just love it. Of course, it sounds like AC/DC, but what are you going to do?
a lot of bands do, mate, but you got to still pull it off. You still got to pull it off.
Absolutely. If it's a good tune, man,
Agreed.
I would put this up against anything from Flick of the Switch or something. I would say this is probably even, heavier and catchier than most on that album. So,
Apart from Bedlam in Belgium, of course.
What was that?
Sorry?
Apart from Bedlam in Belgium, of course.
Yes, of course.
Of course, yeah.
It's
Planet Rock's favorite, Bedlam in Belgium.
Yeah, exactly. My relationship with Crocus is a bit strange. It's one of them bands where I heard the occasional song, but I've never heard an album. Long Stick Goes Boom was a song that I heard. So it's not like I've heard all their stuff. So it might be worth me. I know they got some poor albums, some really poor ones, but some really good ones. So that's what I've heard.
This is one of the good ones. The following one is like the one. The Headhunter came out in '83, I think. So that's the one that people usually say, that's their classic album.
Okay.
But yeah, I would recommend them. Absolutely.
Are they American or German? It sounds like German. Right.
No. They're from is it Finland?
Oh, mate, sorry.
No, sorry. They're Swiss.
Swiss. Didn't know that. Yeah. It sounds European. Must admit, it does sound European.
Yeah. I really thought they was German, to tell you the truth. But there you go.
Yeah, well, they can. They have that vibe. But actually, one of the very few heavy metal bands that we would know that are Swiss.
Okay, well, my first choice. This could be the first and last time they're actually going to be on the list, because this is another song where, a bit like Crocus, I've heard the occasional song. I didn't actually have this album, so I only heard this as a single, and later on I got another album there, so that may come into my list in the later years. But this might surprise you. This one, my track one is Asia, Heat of the Moment.
What a song!
Yeah, man. I mean, really catchy, obviously. Now, I don't know a lot about Asia. Isn't the background of them? Is it Yes? And some of the guys that are Yes, or am I completely wrong?
It is. Yeah. Well, Steve Howe, the guitar player, is from Yes. And then you have Carl Palmer from Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yeah.
And John Whitten on vocals and bass, and he came from like King Crimson.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Downs, who was in the Buggles with Trevor Horn, who we spoke of before. And there you go.
Yeah. So this was a single that I think maybe my brother had or something. I can remember the cover and all that. And well, as soon as I saw that, when I was looking for the releases, I thought, yep, that was like, I had to have that at number one, because I think
excellent.
I thought, I'm not going to get this band on again, and maybe, so it's worth putting it on there just as a, so Heat of the Moment is my big hit as well, obviously.
Yeah.
So huge album as well, man. That album I think was number one for like 2 months in the States or something crazy.
Yeah.
I like that song. Tom, is there another big song they've done? Because I've heard another Asia song that I really like.
Only Time Will Tell, which is off that same album. It's in
No.
your eyes.
No, I don't think it's that one.
The album I actually owned, and I don't even know what year it is, so I might as well just say it was Astra. That's the only album I
on that.
Oh wow, yeah.
And the song Go was I love that.
Yeah.
I love that song, but
don't know what it was anyway. I can't remember. But,
okay.
Good.
Okay. That's my
right. I'm just looking at my list. I've actually got 5 British bands or artists on my top 10.
Nice.
So that's not bad, is it? So going for one of my first British band or artist, this might surprise people, Billy Idol, from Billy Idol's first album, and the track is White Wedding.
Oh yeah.
Great
Brilliant
song.
Big hit.
I love this song. Even now, I know they already play this or Rebel Yell. I still love this song. It's fantastic. Brilliant. I mean, I don't like everything he's done. I mean, I think this has got Hot in the City on it, this album, which I really don't like at all.
No.
But White Wedding is still a cracking album. Obviously, Steve Stevens is playing guitar on here. Well, I think he plays on quite a lot of his albums, actually. Definitely plays on the second, and he's even played on one of his newest ones.
Most of them, yeah. He's kind of been his partner in crime.
Yeah, so it's still, it might be maybe aimed at the charts, etc., but it's still rocking and it's still a great song. And never get bored of it. Great song, White Wedding.
Good choice. I was surprised actually.
I like it.
I couldn't imagine Billy Idol coming into the show, but anything's possible, isn't it? So there you go. But no, definitely no. But I just didn't think you guys would, mention him. But I quite like that song myself. So okay, well you got then, Doc.
All right, that's me. Okay, so we're back to. I know I picked a Babies song last time. This is John Waite's first solo album, but there's a song on here called Change that is just unbelievable. I swear to God, if I had a top 100 songs of all time, I'd have 3 Baby singles and this John Waite solo song. And the funny thing is I'm not even a huge fan. Like I'm not into like deep album cuts of these guys. But the thing is that these are all outside writers as well. So it's not like, they like wrote the songs. They probably wrote their album cuts, but not these singles. No, but this song is just, the pinnacle of just fantastic AOR. If you haven't heard it, Change by John Waite. There was a video that used to get shown a lot on the early days of MTV. And that's where I saw it first. And just brilliant song.
They're the things that stick with you, aren't they, when you see it on things like that? They just stick with you.
They do. Great choice, mate. I might be going a bit more obvious one. I think I chose this as I did not in an All Killer show, but I did a top tracks of this band, Rainbow. So for Stone Cold from Straight Between the Eyes. So great sort of ballad.
I thought I knew you so well.
Yeah, man. Don't you just love Jolene Turner?
Yeah.
He is absolutely.
He's really underrated. I didn't give him many props back in the day, but he really is underrated.
So soulful, his voice. I'll tell you what, I've been watching. I watched it a few times. I'm not into Malmsteen. Can you hear my cat?
Yeah.
Annoying. Just so annoying. I could just strangle the little bald shit. Honestly. But
you don't want your video to get banned for.
I know. No. Well, it's time to do a video, so he's going to play up, isn't he? It's just obvious. So, that song. What was the hit he had with
Heaven Tonight?
Oh man, I love that song, and his vocals.
This feels like paradise.
Yeah. Rising Force as well. Rising Force from that album, pretty good as well.
Yeah. So I mean, I might have to actually listen to that whole album because I haven't listened to it, but. Getting back to this, I just think he brought a complete different side to Rainbow, of course, because of his voice, and they had to change because of it, and a good change as well. To go from the classic rock of Dio, then to that other change with Bonnet, and then to go again. It's quite clever to keep changing the sound of the band, but I think there's a lot of stuff on Rainbow albums, including this one, that I don't like. I just can't. The whole album, I'm just like, But I think they were very good, like a lot of bands of these early 80s at singles, and I think Stone Cold is one of them. So that's my number 2, guys.
Excellent.
Right.
Right, number 3. I'm going to a band I touched on last night, and it's Twisted Sister from Under the Blade, their first album, released in September, and it's Run for Your Life. Now, I spoke about Twisted Sister. Their first 2 albums, possibly 3, were really, really heavy. Certainly the first album were. And then later on, the last 2 albums are really commercial and poppy and bloody Leader of the Pack and all that on it. And if people haven't heard stuff like, they've only heard We're Not Going to Take It, forget that. If you listen to Under the Blade and I can't remember the name of the second album now, it escapes me.
You Can't Stop Rock and Roll.
Can't Stop Rock and Roll. If you listen to the first 2 or 3 albums, they're really heavy. But anyway, this song, Under the Blade, is brilliant. It starts off really slow, and sort of plodding, and then it just goes, run for your life. And then a massive riff comes in, and it's just epic twist. I don't know if you know it, you guys, but it's absolutely fantastic song. I probably could have picked quite a few songs off this album. It's definitely their best album as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, brilliant.
They're another band that I've never, heard the singles, but never really gone that far into. But perhaps they're another word. That You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. That's got a perfect album title for you, Don.
Absolutely. I love songs about rock and roll. You know it.
I know. I'm getting to know you. Don't worry about that. So, yeah. Great choice, mate. Okay, what you got at number 3, mate?
Number 3, I have a band we've touched upon before when we were talking about Wasp and stuff, but this is definitely their early 80s AOR era, which I think that it was too AOR for older fans, and then it was hard for newer fans because they had a reputation for being kind of, I don't know, proggy or whatever. This is Uriah Heep. The album is called Abominog. One of my favorite covers of all time. Another one of those covers that would probably be in a lot of people's worst covers, but I just love it. It's just a monster for me. It's great. But this song is written by Russ Ballard, who wrote a lot of hit songs in the 80s that you would recognize. It's called On the Rebound. It's something that I've relatively got into fairly recently. This wasn't a big thing for me back, but with it being so easy to listen to bands' catalogs now on all of our, favorite streaming services, I went back and listened to this early 80s because I knew it had a reputation for being quite, AOR, the Hammond organ is gone. It's just, you wouldn't even think, if I played it for you, you wouldn't even guess Uriah Heep, I don't think. But
it's like music to my ears, the Hammond organ going.
Yeah,
I love that.
I know you don't like it. This is why I'm trying to sell this to you, man. I'm trying to sell this to you. But yeah, I would definitely check this song out, On the Rebound, and then if you like it, look into the whole album. It's chock full of good songs.
Cool. Great one, mate. Well, I'm not even going to talk about this next song. I'm just going to name it because I'm so boring and predictable. I'm just going to say the title, the band, the title, and then we can move back onto Jam as quickly as possible. So my number 3 is Iron Maiden, Prisoner. There you go. All done. I don't have to say anymore, do I? Because that's like the most, you might even have, I don't even know if you're going to have a Maiden song, but I'm just going to take it from there. I think I even chose this in my favourite song, so it might have been in my.
Did you choose it in your Maiden one that the two of you did without?
I think I probably wouldn't have been happy about it because it wouldn't be my first choice of a Maiden song.
Okay, it's one of my favorites.
Oh, it's up there when you actually look at that album as a whole. It's definitely at the top half. But I mean, people look at this album as their greatest album. I completely disagree that this is their best album. And I mean, there was a vote a little while ago on Facebook, and I voted for Power Slave. So that's my favourite album. But
Peace of Mind is mine.
Well, that's very close. The next 2 after this were just So, but I mean, everyone's own opinion in it. But it's still a good track. I love Prisoner. I think it's a bit of an underrated song as well. I think it's absolutely great. Love the drumming. I'm just talking about it now, and you made me fucking talk about it. But the drumming at the beginning,
and then it just takes off. I love it. Yeah,
great song.
It's almost like 2 different songs. I'm a fan of the TV show as well, so it was really cool that they got Patrick McGowan to do that or to get his permission for it.
And a very catchy chorus, you know.
Yeah.
Very catchy. So that's it. That's my number 3, Maiden. Probably the obvious choice.
Not really, though.
82.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Right, it's not like you picked, Run to the Hills or something.
Oh, fucking hell. I could, I like that song. I still do, but I don't know if I could listen to that. I just fucking hell. Oh. Okay. Number 4, guys. Jam.
Yeah, well, I'm with you on that. I mean, it's the biggest album of the year, probably. So I'm with Maiden as well. And I wanted to pick a song, not obviously one of the big ones. So I've gone for 22, in case you're having
yeah, what song?
Great song. Obviously, Charlotte Heart Part 2. Just a great song. It's longer than I thought, actually, because obviously I know it, but I've played it a few times just to familiarise myself again with it. And it's 6.5 minutes long. I always think of it as like a short song, but it's actually longer than you think. But it's obviously got a bit of a breakdown in the middle and stuff. And
I love that breakdown.
Goes a bit slow. It's really good. Don't need to talk about it much. Everybody knows the whole album. It's not my favourite album, as I've said many times either. The 3 afterwards are my favourites. 4 afterwards are my favourites, obviously. So up to 7th Son, which is my favourite. So, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Choice, mate. Excellent. Okay. Done.
All right. What do I have? Oh, you guys will be very happy about this. I have a straight up ballad.
Nice.
Oh,
not even a power
Straight
ballad.
up ballad.
Not even a power ballad. Is it a power ballad?
It's a power ballad, I would say. But I mean, it's a love song, which I don't pick very many of. But this is just a great song. And it's really stood the test of time. This is Vandenberg with Burning Heart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What a tune. Does it feel the same? Love it. I still love it. They did a remake of it on the last Vandenberg album, and it wasn't. I mean, it's still a great song, but
I didn't even like that album, mate, to tell you the truth. It was bored.
The last Vandenberg?
Yeah.
I was quite disappointed in it as well, and it got a lot of really good reviews, and it just didn't really do it for me. But anyway, this song, love it. Yeah. I think it's just one of the classic ones, and doesn't really get talked about that much. But it sounds so good. Put it on now, and you'll just be floating on the clouds of love.
catching butterflies in a meadow.
That's right.
Oh, mate,
Rose petals coming down.
Yes, definitely. Good choice, mate. Good choice, that. Okay, well, I'm going to an album that was actually named by Jam last night as one of the worst albums they done. So,
fantastic.
Van Halen and Secrets.
Oh,
there you go.
I was going to argue my point last night. I just thought there's no point. But, well, because, I mean, I agree with all the covers, but it contains 2 of my very, very favorite Van Halen songs, which is Secrets and Little Guitars. And Secrets is just amazing.
Yes, I agree.
I didn't name this one. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I didn't pick it out.
No, it was
who was it? It was you're right. It was Darren. Sorry, mate.
Darren, yeah.
Sorry.
I did have it on my list, but
oh yeah. But, yeah. I mean, I agree. I'm with everyone on that. It's a bit disappointing, but obviously there are a couple of tracks on there, and I love Wherever All the Good Times Gone as well. Even though it's a cover, I love that song. So I mean, there's a few gems in there, but it does. Yeah. It's a very lazy album, without a doubt, for me. But Secrets is a great track. That sort of whispery thing from Roth,
so good.
Oh yeah, I mean they just didn't just rock out like doing jammy stuff, like heavy stuff, did they? They did little picking stuff as well.
Yeah. This gets in that catalog, that category of like Women in Love and Little Dreamer, and just those great kind of slower paced vibe songs are just so great.
There you go. My number 4 is Secrets. Number 5.
Good choice.
Get in there.
Thank you very much.
Now this is Lee's favourite, Motley Crue. Too Fast for Love.
All right, fuck it out.
And it's Take Me to the Top.
Yeah, what a great track.
Obviously, Motley Crue's debut album released in August. If anybody didn't see the first episode, it was a slight controversy. Lee was right. It did come out in 81, but only on a sort of limited release on their own label, and we probably wouldn't have got it in the UK. So mostly it's 82 release. So, but anyway, that's why if you haven't seen the other video, but
it's a different track. It's a different track order and everything too.
Yeah. So we've gone with UK release on this order as well, because this probably wouldn't be number 5 either. So as Dom says, but
the worst thing is we all agreed that it was 82 about a week before, and then I just put it on 81 like an idiot. So there you go.
It still counts, really. It still does count. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a great song. Take It to the Top, one of the classics. I think they still play it now. Well, I say now. They're funny how they did their reunion, and then obviously all gigs got cancelled. But
the lyrics are different now. It goes. What the fuck he says, I don't know, but
too many syllables in there for Vince Live. Sorry, you only do about half of that.
Exactly. Good choice, though, mate. Love that song.
Yeah, great song.
What you got, Dom?
What do I have? Okay, from a band that is on all of my lists, which is fine. Judas Priest. This is probably my very favorite song by Judas Priest, which is saying a lot, but this is the one that just does it for me. It's Take These Chains, and it's from Screaming for Vengeance. Wasn't written by the band. Again, we have a hit maker who wrote it. I can't remember who it is. Maybe Bob Halligan Jr., who did a lot of these. But it's just, love it. When I hear it, it was on the radio all the time. It was released as a single, but didn't do anything really. But wow, this is the tune. If you haven't heard this one, Lee, who doesn't like Judas Priest?
I do like some of their songs.
Listen to this song. Take These Trains.
I know it's a bit unpopular, not a popular choice, but isn't that I like another song on the album, the single. You got Another Thing Coming's on that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that song. See?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Well, check it out. Check it out. See what you think. Have you heard that song, Jam? Are you a fan of Judas Priest? I don't even know.
Yes, I am. Yes. I think I had them on my last list. I can't remember now. Yes, I'm a fan. Oh no, I had Point of Entry once. I had it as my Desert Plains as my honourable mention. I think. Yes, I like Judas Priest.
All right.
I'm not a massive fan, but I do like. I've got most of their albums. I know
cool. All right. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so my number 5. This is a song. This is one I struggled with to find a 5. So, but I do like this guy. I didn't like everything he done, but it's Gary Moore. So the ballad "Falling in Love with You" off of Corridors of Power. So real guitar heroics. You've heard a lot of songs sort of similar to this that he did, but I mean, man, it's like another vocal in it. That guitar, it's just absolutely amazing. And one of those, it's a typical Gary Moore ballad, really, but it's just as good as anything he did. And I do really like Gary Moore. I think he had a great voice. I know he weren't really known for his voice, but it was sort of probably not one of the greatest voices, but to play a guitar like he did and sing was pretty special. Do you know what I mean? Great songwriter, but he was very up and down. Didn't like the bluesy stuff that Gary did so much. This had a little touches of blues in this, but I think when he does blues and slows it right down, it's amazing. Do you know what I mean?
What was the last album he did? After the War was the last sort of rock album, wasn't it, I think?
He did. Dom's given it he's given the yawn there. I do agree with a lot of the stuff from Gary Moore. I'm not sure what the last album.
The yawn was for like those later career, like Still Got the Blues albums, which is basically just like Dire Straits with like a little bit of blues, and it's just
No, I totally agree with you there, mate. I'm not me, bluesy stuff just doesn't do anything for me. I mean, occasionally if it's done right, but it's very occasionally for me.
Yeah.
So, but I do like Gary Moore. I think he's cool. That's my number 5. Let's move on.
All right, Speedy, whatever.
Okay, Jan, what you got, mate?
Can't wait to get rid of us this time.
No, it's just like, he's not for everyone, is it, Gary Moore? And and to tell you the truth, that's the one I struggled with to get one in on 6. It was the only thing. Number 5. It's the only one I really struggled with. So it's like that was my last entry, and I was trying to find a decent 5. You know, and the rules of the game.
The thing about this is that you can pick tunes from artists that you're like,
yeah. So I had like a list. I had a list of like albums to listen to at number 5s, and that was the best one out of a list of not so good songs.
There you go.
That's it.
And then someone might listen to it because you're praising it to the heavens, and
So yeah, I mean, listen, I would say it doesn't go with the all killer title, but it's definitely not, it's not a filler, but it's not an all killer. It's like in between.
Okay.
Can we change the title? All killer, no filler.
No, because mine's all
some
killer.
dodgy ones.
So you do.
Okay. Number 6, guys.
Right, so we're halfway through. Now, talking of Hammond organs, as we were earlier, I've gone with Whitesnake, Saints and Sinners, and Here I Go Again. Obviously, the original version from released in November '82. Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, I think I actually do prefer the later version, probably because I heard it first. But I needed a number 6, and it's still a good song. It's a lot slower, isn't it, this version? I mean, you're the other way around, aren't you? But I think I actually prefer the rocking out version a bit more, and the altered lyrics, of course, for American audiences.
I just think that I'm trying to understand my Whitesnake. I really don't understand how I'm like this with Whitesnake because
you love the blues and you love a Hammond organ. I mean,
this is what doesn't make sense whatsoever. You know, it's like people have a go at me the way I eat. So I eat cheese, I have it toasted, but I can't have it melted. So there you go. So it's like a little bit, you know,
toasted, but what? Sorry,
I can have a pizza with cheese on it, but it has to be a bit more well done. I can have cheese on toast, so it's toasted. But like melted cheese, I can't have that. So I'm like, this is a bit like music. I like it. I shouldn't really like, you know, Whitesnake, the blues, but I do. I don't know why. I think it's his voice. I think his voice just suited it more for me. And I think his voice was also better before 1987, a lot better.
Well, now, how do you feel about him in Purple then?
I like that stuff.
I don't like Deep Purple.
Well, I know, but with Coverdale singing.
Yeah, it was good.
I haven't really heard a lot of it, to see the truth.
No? Okay.
No, I think the Deep Purple thing in general puts me off of listening to it.
No, I think it's a good stuff with David Coverdale, some Stormbringer and all that sort of stuff. Really great stuff.
Stormbringer,
I like Deep Purple, much better than Led Zeppelin.
Especially everything after 4.
Exactly.
Right, okay, Dom, what you got, mate? Your number 6.
Oh, is it me? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, 6 is Cheap Trick, Make a Return. Mm-hmm. This is from the album One on One, and it is She's Tight.
Yeah.
Do you know that one?
Yeah, I know that one, yeah.
Awesome. That's great. I just thought, there's not a lot of UK people that really know a lot about Cheap Trick. She's Tight is great. It's just so catchy. Short. I think it's under 3 minutes. But it's
hold on. Still Panther covered this.
No.
Still Panther fan there. Look.
This is another one they play on Planet Rock all the time. That's the only Cheap Trick song apart from The Flame. It's the only Cheap Trick song I know. They play this all the time. Yeah, all the time.
I learned so much from the two of you. Yeah, it's great. So you've both heard it. Unfortunately, Lee has heard a completely inferior version, I'm sure.
I don't like it. I don't like the version now. I didn't like it. So it's put me off for listening to the Cheap Trick one now. So
excellent. Love it. But I actually had a lot of 6, but I had to have that one. Love it.
Cool. My number 6 is one that I wish that I'd got on one of our previous episodes, our Kiss episode.
Ooh.
I Love It Loud.
Great song.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about the drumming, weren't we, on this album and on this song in general is absolutely superb. I'm not a big Gene Simmons vocal fan, so this is one of the exceptions. I think his voice really suits this one.
Yeah.
Love the video. I know it's only
Yeah.
them playing and all that, but absolutely excellent video. Yeah, I love it loud. It's an excellent one of my favourite Kiss songs. Absolutely brilliant. I managed to get it. This is what's good about this, man. Going back and doing the years, and now I can fit songs in.
Absolutely, yeah.
Exactly. So, that's what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, Creatures
I
of
love
the
it
Night.
loud, but
I was saying Creatures of the Night is my top song on the album, but then I wouldn't be able to have Asia on there, would I? But there you go.
Absolutely, you got to make sacrifices.
Yeah, that's it. So that's the name of the game, isn't it? It's going to be hell when we get to later 80s and 90s. Jesus, we'll have far too many songs to pick.
Oh, fucking hell, I won't. Not in the 90s anyway.
Early 90s, definitely.
Well, yeah, maybe. I will struggle. Some of these years I'm going to fucking have a nightmare. I'll be choosing. A quick look. We might have to change the title of the actual program. I don't know.
I looked at 97 and it's a struggle for me at 97. I think 98 was doable. 96.
It's fucking 97, Dom.
Yeah. Just having a quick look.
Oh, just a quick look. Okay. No, he hasn't actually done his top 10. Jesus Christ. I was like, fucking hell, he's done a 97.
No, I haven't gone that far yet, but I had a quick look.
I will pick a year. Yeah, I'll pick a strange year just if I'm sitting on the sofa or something. It's like, okay, what is 2001 looking like? You know, and I'll look and I'll just go, oh my god.
I think I'm gonna be all right from about 2005.
Yeah, I definitely will be on with. Yeah, I will.
Then for me. Yeah, that bit in between from like maybe mid 90s to that is going to be fucking murder.
Yeah. I think 95 to 2002, something like that, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. It's a long way to go yet.
Yes. Okay. What are we at anyway?
7 for me, I think.
7. Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
I'm going with a band that will be the first and only appearance, no doubt. And they're not even really famous for doing it themselves, but it's Diamond Head. Am I Evil? From Borrowed Time, released in March 82, obviously. Famous, obviously, because Metallica have recovered it. There might be some people a bit of controversy because I actually released this song on Light Into the Nations, which came out in 1980, I think. But obviously, they had lots of problems with the release of the albums, and this is definitely. I think it's a re-recording anyway, so it's on this album at track 7. So it counts, because a couple of bands have released different songs on different albums. So I expect you know the song through Metallica. If people don't know it, it's just a classic.
I know it through Diamond Head, thanks.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I didn't hear it until Metallica.
All right.
Admit, I hadn't, but that's because it's later, I guess. But, classic song.
Do you know the story of when Diamond Head got back together, like in the mid '90s, and they supported Metallica, and when they did their own tunes, they got booed because the fans thought that they were covering Metallica.
Oh man, cool. Fucking hell.
I mean, what a situation to be in, right?
Yeah.
You're booing us and throwing shit at us for the songs we wrote.
Oh my god.
I would just kill myself.
Fuck's sake.
Oh wow.
Right, what you got, Dom? Number 7, mate.
What do I got? Number 7. We got UFO again. I'm gonna win you guys over. Swear to God. This is from Mechanics. It's the first single off the album called "Let It Rain," and boy, what a tune!
This one with a spanner in his hand, in the hand.
Yes. Yeah. The one. Love that cover as well. I love really simple covers like that. Just what a tune. I mean, as I said in the past, they've kind of gotten away from the very kind of rocking Schenker riffy, gone more into more of an almost AOR, but man, the songs are great, and this is no exception. Excellent song. Mid-tempo. It's almost like John Cougar when he rocked, back in the day. Just a great songwriting. So if I can turn one person onto these mid UFO albums that nobody seems to like, I've done my job. So there you go.
Cool. I'm sure someone will, mate. Someone will. They probably won't admit it, but they will. Okay, well, I'm going.
One of you, huh?
Maybe, mate. I won't admit it. I'll just say no. I've never heard it. I'm going to possibly the most fun the Scorpions have ever sounded on a song. Do you know which one it is off of Blackout?
Is it Arizona?
Yes. Yes. What a great summery, fun tune. Absolutely brilliant. Love. It's got a real feel to this. I mean, Scorpions, talked about Scorpions before. They really, I mean, this is about a place, obviously, and they can transport you, Scorpions. It's a bit weird. They can make you feel like you're somewhere else. They're one of the only bands that can do that.
Holiday and all those, yeah.
Yeah, they can transport you near enough to times in your life or even places. It's amazing, really. And that's the early stuff. I'm not talking about later on. They lost that a little bit, I think. But in the beginning, well, from Love Drive onwards, for a few albums, they really, that's brilliant songwriting. And that Arizona is a different sort of sound to them, for them, but really fun, really catchy. One of them driving songs, mate.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a top that comes down, you would do it for sure. So Scorpions, oh yeah, Arizona, mate.
What a great song. And isn't it just preceding or following China White, which is like one of the heaviest, weirdest songs they've done?
I think China White
just shows you know.
Yeah, that's heavy as fuck, isn't it? That China White is like, yeah, it's brilliant.
There's not even a chorus really on that song, but I still love it, you know.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But yeah, to have those come after each other, it, you know, really shows the diversity.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll have to check out the album, as I said earlier. I'll have to listen to the rest of it.
You love it, mate. You will love it, I think. There you go. Okay. We're up to track 8, guys.
Yeah, track 8. Lee's already touched on this. It's my favourite Kiss album, and it's Creatures of the Night, from released in October, and it's Killer. Another Gene vocal song. I could have picked pretty much anything off this album, so it was one of them ones where I waited for a slot, and I said I knew I'm going to have something off this album anyway. But I love Killer. Probably not my favourite track on the album, but Killer is an awesome song. It's
bitches in chains, she deals in pain.
Killer, yeah.
And it's fucking great when you got an album where you know you can leave it till last because you're thinking, well, it doesn't really matter because whatever track I end up with, I'll just have it off there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's great. Great choice, mate. Okay, we're on to Dom's number 8.
Yes. Lee's already picked a track off this album, but I like this one because it's talking about rock, little rock fever from Rainbow, Straight Between the Eyes. Let me see you rock, let me see you roll. Yeah, love it. You know how I love the songs about rock.
Perhaps we can do a program all about things with rock and roll in the title, or rock.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
That would be so difficult, but I'm up for the challenge.
Maybe not all killer, no filler, but you know, our favourite songs with rock and roll in the title. How's that? Something like that.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah. So Rock Fever. Guess it's more of a deep cut, but I love it. Off of this album, I really wanted to put. Well, I needed to have Cheap Trick, She's Tight, but I really wanted Power, which is possibly my favorite Joel and Turner Rainbow track. But I had to have She's Tight. So there you go. Rock Fever.
Nice. So I'm going a bit AOR now. So a bit on the soft side. Survivor from the Eye of the Tiger album, American Heartbeat. So very, I mean, it just sums up AOR. It's sort of driven by sort of keyboards, piano mainly, with, you know how they sort of had that guitar sort of came a little bit secondary or just the same as that, the guitar and the keys were very on the same level.
Forefront, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I know that people look on Jimmy Jamison as the man for Survivor. Yeah. But I think I can't remember his name, the guy who sang before.
Dave. Dave Bickler.
Something like that. But on the next album as well, I love the next album, which we'll get to later on. But I just think he was a great singer. I actually love the Eye of the Tiger song as well, but you know it's a bit overplayed, that one. But American Heartbeat is a typical AOR sort of easy sort of sounding sort of song, but I love it. I really like some of the Survivor stuff. I don't like everything they've done.
Yeah.
But I like the sound of them. Do you know what I mean? They come on, they're nice to listen to, if you know what I mean. So that's it.
I can honestly say I've never heard a Survivor album front to back.
Yeah.
I have their best of, and I know all the singles, but I have never heard any deep cuts from Survivor. Maybe that's something that I should really look into.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the next album, which I really liked. I owned it, the next one, but I can't think of the album now. But I'm obviously, when we get to later on in the years, that'll definitely come into I would have thought, my favourite tracks.
Cool.
Okay, we're up to track 9 minutes there, guys. Second to last.
Yeah. Nearly there.
Okay, I'm going to touch on another album we talked about, and this is why I wanted to make clear I didn't pick this last night. I'm going for Van Halen, Dive Down. No, I did have it on my list. It's not a great album, but this, I think,
Taking Liberty.
Yeah, I think it's your guys' favourite song, isn't it? Little Guitars, I think.
One of them, mate.
I didn't have it on my list. I had the intro, I think, on my Van Halen list. So, yeah, I put that in. It's one of the better songs on the album, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love that. It's a really good song, man. A really cool song. I mean, I don't think it's one. I don't think I made it to the top of my. If I talked about top Van Halen songs, I don't think it's my top, but it's a very cool song. That.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I built my entire list around that song.
Yeah,
I did. I started with Little Guitars. I'm like, I don't care what else. It just has to be on there.
It's great. Absolutely great. Okay. What you got, Dom? Number 9.
I have, this is probably the last chance saloon to talk about this band. This is Aerosmith.
That was funny last night.
Yeah.
Well, I've been trying not to refer to an episode that's not even up yet, but.
Well, it is now. I think it is right now. You're right. Yeah.
So I am a huge Aerosmith fan to a point, and this is the last album, I think. Maybe Done with Mirrors, but that's a bit iffy. This is from Rockin' a Hard Place, which is a really weird moment in the band because the 2 guitar players had left. So Joe Perry and Brad Whitford were both gone. They got these 2 young bucks coming in, Jimmy Crespo and Rick Rick Dufay. Both really cool, young-looking guys, especially Jimmy Crespo. He looked like a really young kind of Joe Perry, just had that look. But they came up with a great album. They really did. The single was Lightning Strikes, which I would have had on one of mine, but again, the track listings. So this song is called Jig Is Up. It's a really kind of swampy, kind of dirty groove that they were so good at back in the day. They just, it just always sounded like it's before people described, heavy metal as sleaze, but it's really sleazy.
You needed a shower afterwards. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but it's a good kind of dirt, man.
Yeah. Great
tasty dirt. So yeah, Jig Is Up from that album. If you don't have Rockin' a Hard Place, because you think Joe Perry's not on, it might be a bit shit. It's not. There's some great stuff on there. So check it out.
With Aerosmith, I for some reason I didn't listen to the early stuff, and I only heard the singles. That's all I heard, and that obviously put me off a little bit.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, if you listen to Rocks or Toys in the Attic or Get Your Wings, boy, just some of the best 70s hard rock you can get. Yeah,
I like some of the 70s stuff. It's a lot better. Definitely. Rocks is a good album. There's a really heavy track on it. I can't remember what it's called, but it's good.
Okay, for my number 9, guys, this could be actually my favourite song on my playlist of this. Ooh. I'm looking at it now. I'm thinking, is it? Yes, it is. It's Y&T, Winds of Change.
Y&T make another appearance.
Yeah, man, I love Y&T. I always have done. There's a problem with people wonder why Y&T didn't make it big, because they were sort of another band that were on the edge, I suppose, of being big. They never quite got there. And I think it's probably because they were inconsistent a little bit. Their albums had some fucking amazing songs, but then there was some that were just okay. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
They never done one album for me that was full on fucking every song, you know, was great. But some of the songs on each album were some of the best I've ever heard. So it's, you know, it balanced it out. But you've got to listen to Winds of Change if you haven't heard it, because it's got some of the best guitar heroics as well as some of the best singing, songwriting. It's a ballad, but very heavy. Very heavy. So it's brilliant. Listen to Winds of Change.
Is this
guys.
From Black Tiger?
Yes, from Black Tiger. Yeah, I mean that's when I started getting into Y&T from Black Tiger.
I think most people probably did that one. Yeah.
But it's fucking brilliant, man. You got to listen to it. It's real classic rock with, like I said, it's just amazing vocals, guitaring, songwriting, everything about it is perfect. It's the closing track as well on the album, so it's like the perfect thing to close on. There you go. If there's one song I'm pleased you go and listen to, it's that one.
Okay.
There's nothing like an epic closer for an album.
Oh yeah.
That just always just seals the deal, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay. We're up to the end of our playlist, guys. Track 10.
Yeah. Sad. Okay, Don will like this one. I thought you might have gone for this actually for track 10. Judas Priest from Screaming for Vengeance, and it's Devil's Child.
I believe you're the devil.
Brilliant song, brilliant album closer. I'm surprised was it a single? I'm not sure, but they're definitely still playing.
I think it might be because I recognise it now. Obviously, with Dom singing, I recognise that straight away.
Yeah, it's a great song. Brilliant to be track 10 on an album. Screaming for Vengeance probably, is it my favourite album? It could be that, and Defenders of the Faith. They did a couple of really good ones. I even like Turbo, so I mean, I like quite a lot of the albums, to be honest.
Can you now, one thing that put me off of Priest, right? And I know people, well, it's not just the vocals, right? And I know that's sacrilege, I know, but I think it was the way they mixed the albums as well, and the production. I thought was one of the, for a band that's one of the biggest metal bands, I thought their production was just awful. And it even made Rob Halford's voice, I think, even sort of that sort of tinny sort of sound.
It's so great because you're trying to be so nice.
I don't know. I think the production as well didn't help, and I think that's why the last album from Priest is my favourite album.
Firepower, yeah, good album.
Because it sounded fucking huge. The guitars were huge. The vocals didn't have that tinny sort of sound. It gave they'd done Rob Halford some favours that production on the album. Yeah. Only my opinion, of course.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, we all have our thing. I mean, I don't think you will ever hear me speak about a production of anything. I mean, I can hear, when people say, that sounds great, that sounds crap. I mean, obviously productions vary, but for me, it's always just been about the song, I guess. I don't know. It's just not a important topic for me.
I think for me, it's when you hear something that's really good. If you listen to Empire, I've never heard an album that sounds as great as Empire by Queensryche. It just sounds, even the CD, it just sounded so big. And then if you go and listen to something like Twisted Sister Under the Blade, it is tinny. It doesn't sound great at all. But I think it's when you compare them back to back, perhaps. But if you're just listening to it as a first thing of the night, I don't really notice the production so much, I think.
Yeah. For me. I mean, look at Too Fast for Love. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Even I can say that just sounds terrible, but it has a certain charm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it works with some bands for me, but some not, if it makes sense. Anyway, okay.
Does somebody have a bird?
Oh, windows open. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if a fucking bird come in and attacked Jan right now? That'd be fucking hilarious, wouldn't it? You ain't near the sea, are you? You're not near the coast, are you? No, you ain't, are you? I would love to.
Couldn't be further from the sea in every direction in Derby.
Yeah, of course.
Every direction is miles away.
So I'm saying, if there is a good chance I'll get attacked by a seagull if I left the windows open.
Well, just have a bag of chips and for sure they'll come.
Oh yeah. Okay, great one. Now, Judas Priest finishing your album off. What you got there, Dom?
Great song.
Okay, number 10 is Well, I did this. I mean, it's a good album and it's a great track. But I did it just because it's probably the last chance we'll have to talk about this band as well. Because after this, things get a bit wonky. Riot, who had a great run of records. This is from their album Restless Breed, and it's called Violent Crimes. It's got a real new wave of British heavy metal feel, even though they're an American band. Really kind of fast and just great. They have a new singer on this album, who, I mean, it wouldn't be a million miles away to compare it to the Deanna Dickinson situation. I would say their original vocalist was a bit more street, I guess, for lack of a better word. This guy on this album, Rhett Forrester, he kind of takes a bit more of the, kind of thing. But great band. If you don't know them, check out this album, Restless Breed or Narita or Fire Down Under are the three that came out in the early 80s that are just terrific. So
do you like their album covers, mate? Did you like their album covers with their weird fucking...
With that weird mascot, I know. Very strange. But I mean, that could only happen for that time period, right? I mean, yeah. Fucking you would never have weird covers like that ever again. So.
And it's really weird that you should mention Riot, because they're Riot 5 now, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Todd Michael Hall's the singer?
Don't know.
Yeah, so he's just bought a solo album out. It's come out today.
All right.
And it's fucking excellent. I've heard it this morning. I'll be reviewing it later. So have a listen to it. But we spoke about Vandenberg earlier, didn't we? And they sort of tried to have a classic sounding late 70s, early 80s album. They tried that, but it failed miserably. But this one, you will love it. I think you'll love it. Yeah.
Because after Restless Breed, then they got a bit crazy. They became like a power metal band, like in the late 80s. They have an album that a lot of people like called Thundersteel. That sounds nothing like they used to sound. It's super fast, and it's not really thrash, but it's definitely more of a power metal sound.
And I think I haven't heard much of it. I think that's what they sound like now as well. But Todd Michael Hall has obviously he's almost gone like and done a sort of heavy foreigner sometimes.
Cool.
There's songs on there you think of, it's either I've heard it's a cover, but I don't think it is. It really makes you go back to that feel of the early 80s especially.
Yeah. So I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, I love it. I thought it was great.
Is that on Frontiers by any chance?
I don't think it is. I think it's on... I think it might be on the same label that... Is it Rat Pack? Rat Pack Records it's on. So if you want to... Obviously, I don't know if you've got Spotify, but that's what I did this morning. It was straight on the Spotify list. I've listened to the whole thing, and I think it's great. There's a slight bit of blues in there, not a lot, but his voice is like... his voice is almost like... And I've never heard him sing before, apart from this. And it's almost like a mixture of Geddy Lee and sort of Tony Harnell, that sort of higher pitched sort of sound, but very smooth. I think you'll like it, and the songs are great, real classic.
Maybe a little bit of Lenny Wolf in there.
It may be, yeah, maybe. Very clear vocal. You'll love it. I think give it a go, both of you guys. And
I definitely will. Yeah.
I mean, the singles weren't so much. The album's better than the 2 singles that he's brought out. So if you want to listen to the album, if you can. Okay. Anyway, I'll get off the subject a bit there, but it was a bit funny how you mentioned Riot, and he's just brought one out.
There you go.
So okay. So my track 10. I'm going to finish it with one I've actually chosen before, so a bit boring and predictable again, but it's Whitesnake. And the title track, Saints and Sinners.
Excellent.
So, I mean, my favourite Whitesnake album is the one, I think it was Slide It In. I can't wait to get to that one because that's a fucking brilliant album. But I love everything up to that, really. Listen, I like Whitesnake after that, but not quite as much. But Saints and Sinners is a brilliant song. Sounded a bit different as well, didn't it? They were a bit different than anything else at the time. The Whitesnake stood on their own, didn't they? You know?
Yeah. A lot of those albums didn't get released in the States I think Slide It In was the first, and then when they hit it big with 87, then the whole catalog was picked up and released in the States in the late 80s. But I don't think many of these early albums even were released in the States at the time.
Yeah. That's my list, mate. Guys.
Cool.
All right. So I haven't actually got, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go first because it's going to be very quick with my, maybe I would have chosen a song, except Restless and Wild, something off of there. I couldn't get one. I was thinking about getting one, I didn't. Toto, their album 4. So that was the one. That was the one with the big hits on it. You know, Rosanna, Africa, and all that.
Yeah,
I quite like them songs actually, but it weren't good enough to get onto my list. And Coney Hatch, remember them?
Yeah,
Canadian band. So I actually didn't
look at my number 1 of my honorable mentions.
Oh,
Coney
yeah.
Hatch.
Yeah. So to tell you the truth, I didn't mind the album, but when they got a little bit more commercial, that's when I really like the Friction album is the one for me. That's one of my favorite albums of all time, actually. So that's coming later, obviously in 85 or something like that. So that's about it. That's about it. So
what an obscure thing for the both of us to have. Coney Hatch.
Yeah. I loved them. I didn't like they had an album out a couple of years ago. I didn't like it too much. I think, you know.
Oh, and he had a solo one not too bad long ago that was bad as well.
Yeah, they just I don't understand. They stray so far away, these musicians, from what they are known for. It's like they almost do it on purpose. You know, it's just a bit weird.
Well, they probably just get bored like everybody else. I mean, we don't listen to the same music we listen. Well, we do, but we listen to other, but we also listen to other kinds of music than we did in 1982. You know, so our styles are a bit.
But a band like Coney Hatch, you'd think, right, we had, you know, the people that know us will want that classic sound, won't they? To make it a little bit successful, you know, but to go far away from it is just a bit strange. But maybe it's just a songwriting thing, isn't it? You can't all write good songs. It just happens to everyone.
Yeah. Well, I have a very small antidote. I actually saw Coney Hatch support Judas Priest on the Screaming for Vengeance tour.
Right.
So it all ties in, doesn't it?
It does. Okay, Jan, do you want us to go a few of your honourables, mate?
Yeah, just be quick. I've got a few number ones. I could have had Subdivisions by Rush and Signals. Love that song. Motorhead.
Be cast out.
Great, yeah. Title track from Motorhead, Iron Fist. Not a massive Motorhead fan, but the odd song's pretty good. Live Wire from Motley Crue. And Genesis Abacab. I know Don mentioned Genesis. They're all good number ones. Number 2, Electric Eye from Scream for Vengeance. Number 5, Whitesnake, Crying in the Rain. I could have had. 7, my favourite song from Creature Night is I Still Love You. Great song. Love that song. Could have had that. Or Twisted Sister, Under the Blade, title track. And then number 8, Hallowed Be Thy Name, of course, from Number of the Beast. That's it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's strange. I didn't fit anything from Too Fast for Love. I think I mentioned on the last one when we had the little whatever.
Occasion.
That I forgot. Well, I had already done my list for 82, and then I was like, oh shit, I didn't do Too Fast for Love. And then I just didn't feel like taking anything off of here. So sorry, Motley Crue. It is a great album, but we will talk about you later, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, so the first Manowar came out, Battle Hymns, which has the amazing Metal Days with It's Dead. I don't know.
Yeah.
Michael Schenker Group, Assault Attack with Graham Bonnet. Terrific album. Couldn't fit anything on there. The other huge contender for number 1 was one of those that this list would only accommodate, and it's Fantasy by Aldo Nova. Don't really know his material that much. I know he has quite a few albums. He had one with John Bon Jovi in the late 80s as well, kind of a comeback album. But Fantasy is just, it's one of those classic FM rock songs. Do you guys know this at all?
I might have heard it. I know I've heard some Aldo Novas. It's probably that one that I have heard, but I can't remember.
Well, Planet Rock needs to get on this one because it would definitely be a big hit on there. It still sounds great. So, and then I didn't get anything from Under the Blade on there, but we'll have more Twisted Sister in the coming years.
Great. Absolutely brilliant, guys. Really enjoyed it as usual. 82, was a bit difficult for me, but there's some great tracks coming out from you guys that I'll have to give a listen to, or say I'm going to have a listen to and won't bother and tell you that I have. One of them. I'm terrible, man. Mark Clower has a go at me all the time. He's like, have you listened to it yet? I'm like, not yet. I will do. And then, there's just so much in there. There's so fucking much to listen to.
Yeah.
You've got new music coming out today. So, I've got to listen to that. So, but thanks for coming on again, guys. Obviously, we're trying to do one a week. So we'll do 83 next week. Yeah. And Jam can work on 2007. And then,
Right.
But great having you on, guys. And
all right.
Obviously, everyone, have a go at it. I mean, I've noticed there's a lack of people trying it. It's just obviously too hard.
Yeah, have a go.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Ain't that hard, is it?
I think it's fun.
It is. But people do enjoy watching it because the amount of views we're getting. So keep on watching, guys, and let us know your list and who's got obviously the best list. Let us know that for 82.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, who's got the best list? That's always good. That should be. Yeah, I think people should do that.
Definitely. Okay.
Wonder who would win.
Yes, we'll find out. Right. See you next time, guys.
Yeah.
See ya.
Cheers.